Hello, my friends. Today I wanted to talk about the Return of Godzilla, or some others refer to it as Godzilla 1985. This version that I bought was released by Kraken Pictures, and you can no longer find it anymore. It's now selling for $120. Hello, friends. Again, I'm talking about Godzilla 1984, or the Return of Godzilla. I wanted to show you that I have two different versions. The VHS version, the altered version, with starring Raymond Burr. This version is kind of a hit or miss for me, but I'm not going to bash it too much because it is what got me into Godzilla. Like, the first Godzilla movie I saw was Son of Godzilla from my father. He showed that to me, but it didn't stand out to me as much as Godzilla 1985. And the performance that Raymond Burr gave, despite the comedy elements that were added to the movie that ruined it overall, Raymond Burr tried to keep the serious tone of the film, and the producers didn't feel the same way, unfortunately. But he did his best to keep the film going, despite the corny dialogue. This, however, this is a superior version of the film. This was released by Kraken Releasing. What year did it? It came out in 2016. So I looked this up because I've bought two versions of this film. I bought it on DVD, and it was a rental version from Japan. It was a rental version. That was the only way I was able to see the original version of 1984 in its glory. After that, when this released, I think about maybe 5 years after I bought the rental version of Return of Godzilla, I bought it first day it came out. You didn't even have to ask me. I bought it, no questions asked. And I was impressed. I was very impressed because it had the trailers for the film. It didn't have the making of the film like the rental did. The rental had the making of the film and actually more trailers than this version. Japanese, and my Japanese is a little bit rusty. I know a few words here and there, and I've watched tons of Japanese films, but honestly, it's hard for me to, if you get what I mean. But still, it offered more than this version. The same thing happened with Shin Godzilla for the 2016 release. There were deleted scenes from the original film that didn't make it to the US release, that was brought to America by Funimation. Not disrespectfully talking about their passion for Godzilla, and that's great and all, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted all the special features that were cut from the American release, but apparently that costed too much money, so they just decided to skip it altogether. So the only way you could buy it was the original Japanese version, the 4K version, and that is also in Japanese with no English subtitles. But if you're willing to learn and you're curious about some of the scenes that were cut from the film, because there are a lot of good scenes in Shin Godzilla. There's a scene where they're all dressed up in hazmat suits and they're walking around collecting cell samples of Godzilla, and you see all these eyes that fell from his flesh that are on the buildings that were, when they shot him, and you see it forming into other life beings. There are things like that were cut from the American release that didn't give us a chance to analyze it or further go deep into it, which was very disappointing. And I apologize, I'm not trying to ramble, but yeah, this film, Godzilla 1984, you can no longer get it anymore. It's selling for $120, this Blu-ray copy that I have. This is a big reason why physical media is important. Like I said back then, we didn't have all the Godzilla films on Pluto. We had none of them. And this was the only way you could see them. There's this one, and then Godzilla vs. Biollante. You can't get this anymore either. Or Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah and Godzilla and Mothra: The Battle for Earth. You can't get these anymore. They're gone. But, anyways, that's why I'm a heavy advocate for physical media. And I think that it is good to keep these relics because you never know when they're going to do another release, or if Criterion is going to buy out the Heisei collection, You don't know.